Hi, everybody. We're just tidying up some technical issues and we will aim to start in the next 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you. Hi, everyone. The presentation will start in about 3 minutes, just wrapping up a few technical issues. So we'll start in 3 minutes. Thanks for your patience. Hi, everyone. We will be starting in just about 2 minutes. Please bear with us. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm going to try and this is the first time we're actually using this software, so bear with us. We normally use Zoom, so just bear with us and see if we can get the camera working here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Right. First of all, thank you all for attending this short presentation. I have some notes here, so excuse me if I look down to my notes whilst I'm doing this. There are some options in terms of asking questions. So there's the ability to ask a question, and there's the ability to raise your hand. If you have, when you're ready to ask a question in person. What I'll try and do is Rajesh, who's assisting us on the tech, will try to keep an eye out for everybody who's raising their hands. So if you have a question and you raise your hand, he'll make a note. And then when we have a pause in what I'm saying, he'll jump in and then he'll call out your name one by one, and you'll be able to ask your question. And then if you have something which you want to write as a written question, you can do that as well. But I prefer, if you have a question, that you raise your hand, and then we'll do all the questions in one go. So I hope that makes sense. And I'm going to kick off. Okay, so a little bit about who we are. My name's Firdaus Nagri. I am the CEO of FCI London, amongst other companies. And FCI London is a high-end furniture and interiors business. So we have a showroom in London. We have businesses. We have a showroom in Nigeria as well. And we have businesses and joint ventures in the Middle East, in Kenya, in India, and a number of other markets. And the furniture business is high-end. We do construction, we do interior design, we do B2B, and we do B2C, okay? And in addition to that, we run a number of other businesses, including banqueting, property, and a whole host of other things that we're investors in. So early stage seed companies, technology companies, food, a number of different companies. Why I'm giving you this background is eventually we're looking for people to join our team on a part-time or full-time basis who will help us with a number of recruitment and training ongoing opportunities. So that's kind of the background, okay? So we've been established in the UK since 1985. I'm based in London, but like I said, we have offices all over the place. And for right now, to focus your attention, we're looking as part of this recruitment process, we're looking to find a couple of candidates who can do something very specific, okay? So the first stage of what we want is there's 4 or 5 roles that we need you guys and girls to focus on, okay? And what's really important is I'm gonna talk about the roles briefly. I want each person to pick 2 of the roles, okay? So only pick 2. There's 4 roles that I'm going to discuss, and I want you to pick the 2 roles which you think you are best going to succeed in, because that's how we're going to measure your capabilities, okay? So the first role is an executive assistant role, okay? Now, that is a role that is utilized in many different kind of job descriptions that we have for different founders, for different companies that we work with. So you can see the job description in the links that we've shared with you. If anybody doesn't have visibility of those job descriptions, those PDFs, you can get those links by sending an email, but you should already have access to those PDF links from when you first filled out the type form, the survey. And in fact, what I'll do is, if anybody doesn't have that, like I said, we will send an email after this session so that you can again see all those job descriptions. So the first job description is for an executive assistant, and the executive assistant's role is all about being precise, being available, having a lot of years of experience, and really the role is about taking pressure off the CEO or the manager, whoever that executive assistant is working for. So it's preempting their requirements. It's not just booking diary entries, okay? It's somebody who will be always thinking ahead and protecting the CEO or protecting the manager from not doing things that they shouldn't be doing, okay? A successful executive assistant will reduce the workload and reduce the number of decisions that the CEO has to make, okay? So they can be simple decisions about travel arrangements like airports and flights and hotels and things like that, but they can also be more complex decision making, okay, where there's a document or a legal document that needs to be reviewed, and the EA should be able to have that level where they can review documents, review contracts, and give suggestions, not just be reactive, okay? So it's not like a PA. The EA role is far higher than the PA role. And for the EAs that we're looking for, they should have a minimum of 10 years experience, minimum of 10 years experience. They should have a lot of attention to detail. They should have good negotiating powers so that if they have to purchase something on behalf of the CEO or the company, they can negotiate, they understand the value of money. And they should have excellent desktop research skills. So they should really be able to go into Google and find deals and be able to research. So that requires a lot of patience, okay? But the rest of the description for the role is available in the PDFs, which you guys can have access to. The EA roles are typically 30 to 40 hours per week, okay? 30 to 40 hours per week. And the salary will vary depending on the experience of the EA, okay? But it can be, the salary can be anything from 10,000 to 30,000, okay? So there's quite a wide band depending on that's Rand per month, okay? So there's quite a wide band depending on the experience that they have. Then there's a very specific requirement, which is more for FCI and for our business, which is a remote interior designer. So for the remote interior designer role, and actually for all of the remote roles, what we're really looking for are people who really need, right? They really need to work from home. So not that they don't mind working from home, but they really need to work from home. So by working from home, the quality of their life is really, really good. So it could be people with young kids who have to do the drop-off in the morning, who have to do collection in the afternoon, people who might be looking after elderly parents, or any scenario. What we're trying to do with all our remote roles is to find people who really want to be at home. And by working at home, it improves their quality of life. And for most of our roles, for people who want to work a slightly flexible schedule. So they might say, well, we'll start at 8 a.m. and we'll work for an hour, then we'll stop for 2 hours, then we'll work for 5 hours, then we'll work in the evening. Depending on the role, we can be really, really flexible, because the aim with all these roles is to provide the person with a lifestyle that makes them happy, and so the work becomes easy. Work is never a stress because you don't have to get to an office on a particular time, or there's a lot of flexibility in the hours that they work. And if anybody has further questions on this, I'm happy to answer it after I finish. So for the interior designer role, the interior designers, the remote interior designers that we have working at the moment, the perfect profile is somebody who has young kids. So perhaps in the morning they're busy because they have to get the kids ready for school, they have to drop them to school, etc. After that's done, they've got a few hours that they can make phone calls, they can do live Zoom consultations. They have to be qualified interior designers, so they have to have at least 8 to 10 years of interior design experience. They have to have skills with AutoCAD, which is drawing software, and they have to have a portfolio of projects that they've done, which we would see. Okay, and the job for sorry, my phone's going there. And the job description is they would get leads of UK clients. They need to call up those leads. They need to call up those UK clients. They need to find out what the UK client is looking for. Are you looking for a sofa? Are you looking for a whole house to be interior designed? What are you looking for? And really understand what the customer is looking for. Make notes, gather information, and then take all of that information and pass it over to the UK team if they feel that that lead is a hot lead. If they feel that they have the budget, they're willing to purchase. So it's kind of like a warming up lead, and it's about building a relationship with that customer through Zoom and through the telephone. That interior design role is 20 to 30 hours per week. That's what we're looking for. And that role is based on 80 to 100 Rand per hour, plus a commission based on a successful transfer. So if they transfer a lead over to the UK and the UK sales team close that lead and it becomes a sale, then the South African remote interior designer would get a sales commission on that of 1% of the profit on that sale. Then, and this is probably right now the most important role that we're looking for right now. They're all important, but this one in particular is 30 hours per week, and it's for a partnerships manager. Now, what is a partnerships manager? So FCI is a high-end furniture business, as I've talked about, and you can see the website. FCI London is the website, and we work with interior designers in the UK. And what the partnerships manager has to do, that role will probably be done by somebody who's female, we think, and somebody who enjoys fashion and shopping and nice things. Because what the role is to create partnerships between us, FCI, and other businesses in the UK or elsewhere, where those other businesses will give us a benefit or a product or a discount or a service, and we will take that benefit and give it free of charge. We don't want any commission, free of charge to the interior designers who are working with us. So as an example, the partnerships manager may reach out to a nail salon, for example, or a beauty salon, and say to them, look, we would like you to give a free facial to our interior designers that we send you, just once, not twice, just once. So the first time they come in, courtesy of FCI, they get a free facial. Anything else that they want a manicure or a pedicure or a massage or anything else, they have to pay for. And that's where the partner makes their business. And obviously, if they develop a good rapport, then that interior designer will keep coming back for more facials and more pedicures. And then that interior designer will introduce that business to their customers as well. So it could be a growing thing. So FCI doesn't need anything. for it. We don't need a commission. We just want to be able to pass on that benefit to our interior designers, the interior designers who are buying from us in the UK. And it can be any benefit. And the reason why we're doing this is we want those interior designer customers to love us. We want them to just think, well, FCI don't just give us good service when we buy from them. They're always sending us these freebies and these good connects and vouchers for restaurants and all these extra things, even in between projects, so that we cement and solidify our relationship with those interior designers. So that is really, really, really super important, that role. And that role will be a mixture of somebody who's got telephone experience, because all of this is being done just on the telephone and Zoom. So somebody who's got some good, strong telesales experience. I think it's going to be a woman, because she has to come up, or they have to come up with who to approach. There isn't a call list. They have to be creative in terms of figuring out who to approach. And somebody who has some experience with fashion, I think, in that space. That's going to be the success factors. And then finally, not finally, but next, we have a senior email marketing executive. So somebody who understands email marketing, somebody who's extremely data-driven, extremely analytics-driven, somebody who has experience with autoresponders, somebody who knows how to create email chains and email autoresponders based on what users are doing, and at least 10 years experience. So those are the main roles that we are currently wanting to discuss. And we want each of you to pick 2 of those roles. So just pick 2. Pick the 2 that you think you can best attack. We have executive assistant with a high level of acumen, analytical thinking, somebody who doesn't need minute by minute instructions, somebody who can be given one instruction which has many steps and they can go off and do it, somebody who is good at updating when updates need to happen, but not overly dependent on the CEO or the manager that they're working for. So that's the first role, executive assistant. The second one is the remote interior designer, who is very comfortable doing presentations on Zoom and doing discovery on Zoom. The most important role at the moment for us is partnerships manager, which I've described. And then the final role is senior email marketing manager. So I want each person to pick 2 of those roles. And once you've picked those roles, let us know what you will charge for those roles by email, and then deliver CVs to us. And then as soon as we make, obviously, a CV selection, we'll do the interviews, and upon successful hiring, we will pay. That's the first step. What we want to do moving forward is to bring some people onto the team who will be on a monthly retainer, because there's so many different roles that we want to hire for moving forward. And there's also training. So we want somebody who can not only hire, but put together a small training program so that those people that are being hired are then going through a training program as well. And the final component of this is an ongoing role to hire assistants and digital marketing people for a new company that will then supply those people to other partners in our network. So I sit in a network called EO and in another network called YPO. And these are all business leaders that are running businesses of a variety of different sizes, starting from $1 million going up to, $1 billion and everything in between. And what we want to do is set up a business whereby we can say to all these other businesses, if you need temporary staff, if you need remote staff, rather than hiring full-time staff, you can come to us and you can hire temporary staff to do admin, data entry, marketing, act as PAs, VAs, all of that. So we're setting up basically a VA business, and we need somebody who will be in charge of that VA business, both in terms of recruiting, doing business development or hiring business development people, doing the sales and marketing, and running that company for us. So there's a number of things going on, but for right now, the main focus, the first step, is to pick 2 roles and deliver CVs to us. And I'm not interested in everybody giving me hundreds of CVs. I'm interested in 1 or 2 that you think are the very, 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 very best. So you need to do the interviewing, you need to do the vetting, you need to ask the right questions. If you're putting CVs, because reading CVs for me takes a lot of time and is a dead use of my time. If I'm reading CVs that are completely unsuitable, we will disqualify you because it's going to be a waste of my time. So you need to look at these CVs and really only put forward people that you are sure 100% this is the right person. Don't send us, 5, 10 CVs per role. Pick 2, maximum 3 per role that you think these are really, really top notch. I think that's it from my side for now. If anybody has questions, please raise your hand, and I'll request Rajesh to unmute you one by one, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. So I think the first we have is I'm really sorry, I'm going to mispronounce some of these names. Bathandwa. Can we unmute Bathandwa? Bathandwa, I think you're muted. So there's two mutes. There's self-mute and there is organizer mute. Okay, there we
Hello.
go. Hi. What's your question?
Hi. I wanted to find out whether Chloe will send us those job descriptions that you mentioned, as well as their cost to companies.
When you say cost to company, do you mean the salary that we're offering?
Yes, for those positions.
Yeah. That will be sent straight after this presentation.
Okay.
We are also, look, we are a very entrepreneurial company, right? So we're all about finding the right talent. So if there is somebody that you speak to and you think, well, they are above the pay bracket that we're offering, but they're really, really, really good, then we're open to having a discussion. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
If they're double what the budget is, then it's not going to work. But if they're a strong candidate and they're, we feel we want to find people who are long term, who we can work with. So we can be sensible. And there's always an open dialogue and discussion.
Okay, no, that answers my question.
Great. Legend? So you may find that you're self-muted as well as being organizer muted. So,
okay. I'm
hey,
muted
how
now.
are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you for the invitation to the presentation, first of all.
Pleasure.
It's a great privilege. Secondly, thank you for breaking it down for me so I've got more clarity regarding what it is the company wishes to achieve, and the vision, basically setting out a vision for me specifically. My question comes in whereby you said we need to state the 2 roles that would most likely suit us, right? And that will need to send by email.
Not suit you as the recruiter, but the 2 roles that you feel that you are most equipped to recruit for. Some people will be really, really good at digital marketing. So they'll say, okay, I'm going to do the email marketing guy, right? For example, somebody else, the most challenging role is the partnerships manager. So that's the one that we're really, really looking to fill, right? Does that answer your question or not?
Yeah, definitely does, Rajesh.
Okay, no problem. Talisa? You may be self-muted, Talisa.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Please go ahead. Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So I have 2 questions. The first one was, with they, I know that the salary is offered in rand, but would they have to necessarily be from South Africa?
Where are you thinking?
Well, anyway, really,
We have,
because it's remote. So,
yeah, we have a really good South Africa. We already have a current team in South Africa, and it works
okay,
really well for team meetings. It works really well for huddles. It works well for the time zone, and it works well for the language, and
okay,
it works well from a salary point of view. For the UK, there's actually a lot of opportunities for helping us with UK recruitment, but not right now. So if there's a particular region that you're thinking of, I'm open, but because we're paying in rand and we understand the cost of living in South Africa, that's how we've come up with these numbers. If suddenly you start trying to hire people in the UK, that rand salary is not going to work.
okay, I understand.
But if
And
you're,
then sorry.
yeah, if you're looking at Kenya or somewhere like that, maybe there's it could be fine. But
Yes, other African countries, I've
yeah,
seen some really good candidates come out of there as well.
we're open. We're open as
Okay.
long as the salary is fair for their
Yes.
standard of living and their cost of
Yes.
living, right? If they're going to
Okay.
try and work for a salary that doesn't cover their cost of living, then it's going to be a short-term relationship, and that's not going to work for anybody.
Yes, I understand. And my second question was, or will the candidates, if they're successful, will your company provide them with the tools, or do they need to have their own laptop, their own,
Good
obviously their
question.
own
They
phone?
need to have their own equipment. The telephone is a
Is it
VoIP.
internet sub?
So they would just need to have a headset and then connect to their own laptop. They'd need to have their own internet as well. If they don't have a headset, we can provide a headset, but laptop and internet connection has to be there already.
Okay, and then do you guys compensate them for the internet or not?
I mean, we can. It's not. I mean, I would imagine everybody has internet at home, and the amount of time they're on the internet is not huge. But if that is a main concern of somebody to say, well, I'm going to spend $10 a month on internet more than I would be spending anyway, then absolutely we can have that discussion, no problem.
Okay. I think that was all the questions I had. Thank you.
Okay. I think the critical thing is we want people who want to and need to work from home. They want to work from home. Not that they had to work from home during the lockdown, but they want to work from home. And those people are already going to have their power supply backups for load shedding. They're going to have their own laptops. They're going to have their own internet connection. If it's somebody who's never done remote work and this is the first time, we don't want them. We definitely don't want people who've not been doing remote work already. I'm sorry I didn't mention that, but that's a very important point. Can we go to Jaya, please? Hi, Jaya.
Yeah, good day, for those I do.
Tell me, what's your question, please?
Right. Yeah, so I just want to find out, so obviously based on the roles that you have, we obviously have to source it. And obviously once that is done, you'll obviously make a decision in terms of who has provided the best sort of candidates. And then you'd obviously make an offer in terms of using, well, us as on a retainer basis.
Yeah. So there's two things that we're doing in this methodology. The first is to find the candidates that we need, but more importantly, it's to find the recruiter that we can work with. So the recruiter who is fast but accurate, not just somebody who's just throwing CVs at us and hoping something will stick, but somebody who really understands what it is that we need, who's researching, who's asking questions, right? And kind of making sure that they're really clear on what the role is. And then the way the process would work is we're going to offer multiple jobs, by the way. So if we have somebody who brings us the perfect partnerships manager, and somebody else who brings us the perfect executive assistant, we will then offer 2 jobs, we'll pay 2 commissions, and then we'll have two discussions regarding ongoing retainers, etc. Because business, I'm sure you guys all know this being in recruitment, business is driven by good people. So if I had like 50 good people, I could start 50 new businesses. The only thing stopping people starting good businesses is good people. So if there is a good, if there are 3 or 2 good recruiters and trainers, then to work with them on an ongoing basis is very easy. The hard part is finding good partners to work with. We have, does that answer the question?
Yes, 100%. Thank you.
Sometimes I have a habit of just talking. So if I'm talking too much, just tell me to shut up. We're pretty relaxed around here. I hope that answered your question.
Matsamo?
100%.
Yeah. Matsamo, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. You did mention fast. Is there a turnaround time upon which to submit the profiles, the CVs?
I mean, if somebody sent me a CV today and I interviewed the person and that person was perfect for the partnerships manager role, I'd hire them today. And then all the other CVs that come afterwards would be secondary, right? With the partnerships manager role, I think we're probably looking for 2 or maximum 3 partnership managers, no more than that. So if I got 3 really good ones and I hired all 3, then maybe I'd probably say, okay, I'm not going to take a 4th one for a while until we get that, because it's a new business function. We've never done anything like it before. So probably, we would bed that in first. So I think time is important. Quality is more important. I know that doesn't, it doesn't have a numeric answer. I can't say to you, it's 6 weeks or it's 6 hours, because it just depends on how CVs come to us.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then just my second question. You mentioned that they should have worked in fully remote.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to consider somebody who has said maybe has 5 years of in-office experience plus 5 years remote experience?
So they do have remote experience?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the people have to only have worked at remote from birth. No, I'm just saying that they have had to have a good amount of remote experience. And most importantly, that they want to work remote. And they have a really good reason. Saying to a recruiter, yeah, I want to work remote, is not good enough. The recruiter has to find out why it's important, right? Why do they need to work remote? Why do they want to work remote? And for some people, they'll just say, well, I'm an introvert, right? I don't like the background noise of the office. I don't like the gossip, the chit chat. I enjoy working on my own. And then when I want to socialize, I have a group of friends and I go out and we play chess or we go to restaurants or whatever. We understand the person's lifestyle, not just what they're telling you about the job. Like, we are recruiting people for long periods of time. Some of the people that work, for me, have been working for me for like 30, 40 years. So we want people who are looking to have a good work-life balance.
Yes. Okay, no, that is it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Mosi Budi?
Hi.
Hi.
So I just wanted to find out, in terms of these positions, do you have a preference in terms of maybe the industry that they have previous experience in, or are you willing to look at a person as long as they've basically had the experience but not from a certain industry?
Well, for interior design, they have to have very specific experience in industry. For email marketing, they have to have very specific experience in email marketing, not just digital, not PPC, not SEO, specifically email marketing. If they've done the other things as well, that's fine. but they have to have solid 10 years of experience just doing email marketing.
I think, sorry to cut you off. I'm just looking at basically for the executive assistant one. Would you have a preference in terms of which industry they were working in?
I think I'd have a preference in terms of they should be working for senior managers or CEOs in businesses that have been doing at least a $5 million revenue.
Okay.
Right. The industry is not so important. If the EA has legal or financial background, if they've worked in or studied law, that's a massive extra bonus.
Okay, great.
Because they have a certain way of thinking, lawyers do, which is in line with what we're looking for.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much.
Sure. We'll just take a couple of last questions and then we're going to wrap up. Florence, please go ahead. Florence.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me, colleagues?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Veritas. Just a quick one from my side. I think the other colleagues actually has touched on base on all the questions that I wanted to ask, but maybe just last ones, just to find out, especially for the executive position, are you looking specifically for an age? Would you mind somebody from 40 to 50 or somebody younger than that?
I think they have to have a sense of humor. That is really, really important. One of the executive assistants is going to be working for me. They have to have a personality and a sense of humor. They have to be very tech savvy. So they really need to understand desktop research. They need to be able to understand software, how to pick up new bits of software. And a lot of it is desktop research. So it's really digging in and going online and doing things. I don't see it as technical, but I might be concerned that an older person who hasn't had a lot of exposure may struggle, and that then we might be setting them up for failure. So all of these roles really have to be people who, the computer is second nature to them. They can touch type really quickly. They can do desktop research really quickly. They know how to operate Zoom. They know how to operate, AutoCAD software. To people who are not networking specialists necessarily, but who really enjoy digital.
Okay.
Apart from that, the age doesn't matter to me.
Okay. And then the last one thing, you didn't mention any race, so you prefer any race basically.
Any what, sorry?
Race, like black, Indian, white.
As long as they can do the job, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as they
problem. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Last question, Talisa.
Hi, I just wanted to find out, so how many people are you looking to hire per role?
As many good ones as we find.
Okay.
Find 10 great EAs, we'll find work for all of them.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, definitely the last question. I think that was the last question. No, definitely the last question. Yelisa, please. Oh, Yelisa's gone. All right, cool. Thank you all so much for taking the time. Okay, Yelisa's back. Yelisa, go ahead. Last question, please. You may be self-muted, Yelisa. No. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time. This is for the right candidates. This is going to be a really interesting ride for the right people, not just for the roles that you guys are recruiting for, but also for you. There's so many things that we're trying to do, so many different businesses that we're involved in, and to have a few solid people who can look after recruitment initially in South Africa, but then also help us with other aspects of our business in the UK and elsewhere. I think that in the end, the person or the people that will join us more on a retainer basis, on a salary or retainer basis, they will have to love recruitment, but they'll also have to love training, because recruitment is like, it's good fun, it's quick, you get the person in, but then it's nurturing them and looking after them, right? So we're looking for people who will be able to do that nurturing and do that training and build training programs for our various different partners and companies. And I think that's where we're going to end up with this role. Right now, it's just kind of to separate those people who know what they're doing from those people who don't by actually delivering these CVs to us. And then after that, you know, we'll see where the role goes. Thank you so much again for attending. Okay, I've got one last question. Leanne, please. Leanne, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to find out the process for the recruitment specialist going forward. So I know we're going to go out and look for these candidates and things like that, but what is the process for us going forward?
So in that process of finding us candidates, you will be interacting with me, and then I'll be assessing if I can work with you or not, and what aspect of the future plan I can work with you on. And so it'll be like a one-to-one.
Okay. I just thought that.
Yeah, there isn't. I'm looking for people who I can work with, and there's many qualified people out there, but I need to be able to work with people with a certain mindset and a certain entrepreneurial ability to kind of get things done.
Okay, cool. No, that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Rajesh will send out shortly the links with all the job descriptions. If there's anything that you're unclear on, please send us your questions by email and we will respond. And have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you, everyone. Take care.